We've built your career into a masterpiece, so you can have days that look like a work of art, or be the legacy that will live on as your crowning glory. Now let us help put the finishing touches on your brilliance with Clarion's vast experience, deep expertise, and digital tools, all focused to give you what you deserve. The finest things in life.
Today's woman is not just an entrepreneur, a mother, or the girlfriend that gets all the girls together. She's all that and much more. We call her a queen. She's driven to live life to the max, and nothing should slow her drive down. That's why Guardian General's Queen Guard Motor Insurance was created with this woman in mind. Delivering benefits like 24-hour roadside assistance, uninsured motorist protection, windscreen coverage, replacement of personal belongings, speedy claims settlement, and so much more at affordable premiums that won't break your pocket. For more information, contact your broker or call us at 876-935-6681 or toll free 888-468-3474.
The first sound they make is to simply let the world know they're here. And then it's our duty to help them show the world why they're here in the first place.
Give them every advantage with the Guardian Achiever, a plan that provides for their educational dreams and protects their health and life in the process. For more information, call 888-4LIFE to speak to an advisor or visit myguardiangroup.com.
Good afternoon.
The first sound they make is to simply let the world know they're here. And then it's our duty to help them show the world why they're here in the first place.
Give them every advantage with the Guardian Achiever, a plan that provides for their educational dreams and protects their health and life in the process. For more information, call 888-4LIFE to speak to an advisor or visit myguardiangroup.com.
Michelle?
Opening an investment account on GoIPO is easier than before. Using your NCB online credentials, simply log on to goipo.jncb.com to provide the required information. Our digital biometric identity verification system will confirm your ID instantly, so your account will be opened in minutes. Plus, now you can open your investment account with up to 3 joint account holders. So build your wealth and experience life with NCB Capital Markets.
No matter who you are, where you are, or what you do, Link are for everybody. Whether you find yourself in a little situation on the hustle, or you're not in the hustle for leave home, we're here to help. Keeping you topped up, putting the solution in your hands, and giving you the joy of choice and convenience, especially when it comes to getting back what's owed. That's why life is better with Link.
For
For a better way to get money from abroad 24/7, use Link. It is safer, easier, no bank account needed. Ask family and friends from abroad to send money through MoneyGram and send you the reference number. Then log into the Link app and go to the remittance option, complete the form, enter your MoneyGram reference number, and just like that, within minutes, you get money in a blink with Link straight to your phone with the best rates to make your money stretch. Cause every dollar counts. Get money from any MoneyGram abroad anytime of the year, wherever you are. Download the Link app today. Life is better with Link. Conditions apply.
Many years ago, NCB began serving Jamaicans at the corner of King and Harbor Street in downtown Kingston. I often ponder about that moment, the aspirations and dreams those customers must have had walking through our doors. As the world around us has evolved, so has NCB. Yet, the heart of what we do has not changed. I acknowledge with sincerity the challenges we have faced, but every challenge brings lessons, opportunities for growth, driven by EGC, which means efficiency, governance, and a renewed focus on customer experience. We're not just adapting, we're transforming. My promise that every interaction with NCB will be simpler and more memorable, delighting you at every turn. As we journey forward, I cherish the stories and dreams you share, knowing that they are the foundation of our shared legacy.
In 2019, we gave you Go IPO, the region's first digital IPO application platform, revolutionizing the local equities market. With over $7 billion in capital raised via this platform, the innovation continues. Now we introduce the Go IPO Bond Portal, giving you a fully digital bond offer experience from application to confirmation. So there is no need to go in branch and no extra fees, because seamless access to wealth starts with the NCB Capital Markets Limited. Visit goipo.jncb.com. Click offers, then bonds.
Selling online is easy. Whether you're self-employed without a business account or a large corporation ready to join the global online marketplace, we have a solution for you. Accept payments via WhatsApp as well as other social media with NCB Payment Button. No website, no problem. Get started in minutes with ready-to-use customizable templates supported by NCB website templates, or sell to customers across the globe in an online mall with NCB Marketplace. Plus, get a pre-approved business credit card. At NCB, we have the right solution for your business to get you online and earning 24/7. Sign up today at jncb.com/e-commerce. Conditions apply.
You're always on the go. Take your bank with you with the NCB mobile app. Say hello to the banking app that does it all, right at your fingertips. Need to send money to family and friends, split the bill, or even pay your rent? Do it with a few taps in the NCB mobile app. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Say goodbye to long lines and yes to hassle-free. Pay your internet, electricity, water, and all other bills with just a few taps, so you can use your time to do what you love. Stay connected to those that matter most. Tap to top up and send phone credit to your favorite person, anywhere, anytime, any network. Download the NCB mobile app from the Google Play or App Store today and enjoy convenience at your fingertips.
Most fraud cases stem from one simple action: clicking on a link or sharing personal information online through text or over the phone. Remember, NCB will never send links through text, WhatsApp, or emails, and NCB will never contact you to ask for your PIN, password, RSA token, or credit card number. Don't be quick to click or share your information. Don't fall for fraud. For more info, visit jncb.com/protect yourself.
We've built your career into a masterpiece, so you can have days that look like a work of art, or be the legacy that will live on as your crowning glory. Now let us help put the finishing touches on your brilliance with Clarion's vast experience, deep expertise, and digital tools, all focused to give you what you deserve, the finest things in life.
Today's woman is not just an entrepreneur, a mother, or the girlfriend that gets all the girls together. She's all that and much more. We call her a queen. She's driven to live life to the max, and nothing should slow her drive down. That's why Guardian General's Queen Guard Motor Insurance was created with this woman in mind. Delivering benefits like 24-hour roadside assistance, uninsured motorist protection, windscreen coverage, replacement of personal belongings, speedy claims settlement, and so much more at affordable premiums that won't break your pocket. For more information, contact your broker or call us at 876-935-6681 or toll free 888-468-3474.
The first sound they make is to simply let the world know they're here. And then it's our duty to help them show the world why they're here in the first place.
Give them every advantage with the Guardian Achiever, a plan that provides for their educational dreams and protects their health and life in the process. For more information, call 888-4LIFE to speak to an advisor or visit myguardiangroup.com.
Opening an investment account on GoIPO is easier than before. Using your NCB online credentials, simply log on to goipo.jncb.com to provide the required information. Our digital biometric identity verification system will confirm your ID instantly, so your account will be opened in minutes. Plus, now you can open your investment account with up to 3 joint account holders. So build your wealth and experience life with NCB Capital Markets.
No matter who you are, where you are, or what you do, Link are for everybody. Whether you find yourself in a little situation on the hustle, or you're not in the hustle for leave home, we're here to help. Keeping you topped up, putting the solution in your hands, and giving you the joy of choice and convenience, especially when it comes to getting back what's owed. That's why life is better with Link. No matter who you are, where you are, or what you do, Link are for everybody. Whether you find yourself in a little situation on the hustle, or you're not in the hustle for leave home, we're here to help. Keeping you topped up, putting the solution in your hands and giving you the joy of choice and convenience, especially when it comes to getting back what's owed. That's why life is better with Link.
For a better way to get money from abroad 24/7, use Link. It is safer, easier, no bank account needed. Ask family and friends from abroad to send money through MoneyGram and send you the reference number. Then log into the Link app and go to the remittance option, complete the form, enter your MoneyGram reference number, and just like that, within minutes, you get money in a blink with Link straight to your phone with the best rates to make your money stretch. Cause every dollar counts. Get money from any MoneyGram abroad anytime of the year, wherever you are. Download the Link app today. Life is better with Link. Conditions apply.
Many years ago, NCB began serving Jamaicans at the corner of King and Harbor Street in downtown Kingston. I often ponder about that moment, the aspirations and dreams those customers must have had walking through our doors.
Chairman, we'll invite you to call the meeting to order.
Meeting is called to order.
Chairman, I'm to advise you that we do have a quorum present.
Thank you, sir.
And Chair, this meeting is being held virtually, and we have a number of our directors present. So members, we have present our chairman, along with Director Robert Almeida, Director Sandra Glasgow, Director Sanya Goff, Director Thalia Lynn, and I am not at this time seeing Director Alvin Wint. So it may well be that he's on and I'm not seeing him, or that he will join shortly. Mr. Chairman, I would therefore ask you to give your welcome and opening remarks, sir.
Thank you very much, Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our extraordinary general meeting. I'm excited to be here, actually, because this recent journey started on the 14th of July. And on the 14th of July, there was a now famous article in the Observer entitled, "I'm Not Happy." And I wasn't happy on the 14th of July. Why? And I spell it out quite clearly in the Observer on that day. I wasn't happy because although the bank has maintained its strength and stability, that has never been in question, I wasn't happy because it was inefficient. I wasn't happy because the governance, and when I say governance, I'm not just referring to corporate governance. I'm referring to discipline throughout the organization. So governance is a much more general term than most people would think of it in. I was referring to discipline within the organization. And I wasn't happy with the customer experience that was being meted out to our customers. So I spoke openly about that, those three items. That was on the 14th. On the 17th, we started, Director Almeida and myself Director Almeida, he was appointed as the interim CEO for NCBFG. Myself, I remained as non-executive director with some corporate executive responsibilities. And we started a journey from that point. And the journey was to make all our stakeholders happy. That was the journey. And the stakeholder that is of relevance here today would be shareholders. Because as you know, as we all know, in the last 3.5 years, shareholders have not gotten a dividend, have only gotten one dividend of 50 cents over the last 3.5 years. And that's not acceptable for an organization as a stalwart organization as NCB is. It's just not acceptable. So we embarked on this journey from July the 17th to ensure that notwithstanding interest rates going up, notwithstanding Basel III, notwithstanding IFRS 17, we are going to make sure that all our stakeholders are well provisioned for all. So we embarked on a program whereby EGC became the 3 letters in the organization that will be our North Star. E, efficiency improvement. G, governance. And C, the customer experience. Those are our primary foci for the organization. So what we did over the last 3 months, we delayered, and that was very public. We acted decisively, and we delayered. It was public, but we had to do it. We had to. That was part of efficiency and getting closer to the customer. We also improved. We're also, and this is we also strengthened our communication with our staff. So far in the last 3 months, we have had 3 staff meetings with all 2,600 staff. 3, and we'll continue having them until everybody is aligned in terms of EGC. And the staff, I'm surprised, has reacted so positively. It's inspiring. So we're now getting into the virtual loop of us inspiring staff, now staff inspiring us, which is where you want to be. So we delayered to get closer to our customer. We're also making sure that our capital efficiency is focused on. So the reason for this meeting, the primary purpose of this meeting, is just to deal with one aspect within the strategy with a few prongs of capital optimization. And interim CEO Almeida will elaborate. But the goal here is, with respect to our capital optimization, is to ultimately put the organization in good stead to get a dividend, because that we're all starved, as we know, and the implications have been far-reaching. So dividend, and not only a dividend, but a consistent and increasing dividend. So there is a lot that we have done over the last 3 months. And as I said a couple months ago, we will have a dividend before the end of the calendar year. And we are very close to that point. I'm happy to say. So those are my remarks, and we are excited to be here because this is the one of many of these strategies that we have embarked on, the APO being the final one in our arsenal. So with that, over to you, Dave.
Thank you, Chairman. We will now, Chairman, have prayers, and we will request that Julia Wong Brooks, who is Executive Assistant in our Group Finance Division, lead us with opening words of prayer.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, today we come to give you thanks. First and foremost, we thank you for life. Yesterday's events were a vivid reminder that life is precious. So help us to live with purpose and help us to move with a sense of urgency. Lord, we thank you for our shareholders who have joined us today to discuss matters pertinent to the NCB Financial Group. We thank you, Lord, for the leadership and the stewardship of the board of directors, the executive leadership, and all other officers and staff. Lord, we ask that you continue to bless our efforts as we seek to take this noble institution to higher heights. We thank you for your continued blessing as we continue to embody the EGC mindset. All these things we ask, Lord, in your name. Amen.
Amen. And now, Chairman, we'll proceed with the formal business of the meeting. First, some procedures to outline. As this is an extraordinary general meeting, only the business captured in the notice of the meeting will be taken at this meeting. That, of course, has implications for what questions can be taken and answered during this time. Any questions that are not specifically relevant to one of the resolutions would not be taken in the meeting, but can be responded to afterwards, either by our investor relations team, or perhaps persons may have an opportunity to ask them at our next investor briefing, which is anticipated to be next month. And next month, of course, starts tomorrow. Now, in the interest of moving efficiently, resolutions will be proposed and seconded by Ms. Jacqueline DeLissa, Chief Financial Officer of National Commercial Bank Jamaica Limited, and Mrs. Stephanie Nita, Assistant Secretary and Group Corporate Services Manager. Both of them are members of the company. Questions and discussion on the resolutions will be taken through the Q&A functionality during the meeting, along with any questions or comments submitted earlier, and we have seen some of each of those. The chat functionality has not been enabled to allow us to ensure that we can efficiently handle all the questions that may come forward. Now, any member wishing to speak should so indicate by raising his or her hand, be acknowledged, select the speak option, and the microphone will be unmuted, but the question will then only receive a response if it is relevant to the resolution then on the floor. 30 seconds will be allotted for voting on each resolution. The specific wording of each resolution will be as read in the meeting. And if there is a difference between what is read and what is shown on screen, the what is read should prevail. Please note that the third resolution will include small amendments to the version in the notice of meeting, and we will come to that in due course. The chairman will, as usual, at the close of voting, be asked to declare whether the resolution has carried. We will now refer to the notice of extraordinary general meeting that would have been previously circulated and which should now appear on screen. And I would suggest that the notice be taken as read and that someone propose the following resolution: that the notice of this meeting be taken as read.
I so propose.
And may we have the member seconding that resolution?
I second.
Thank you. And with the motion there, with the resolution therefore having been duly proposed and seconded, we shall take the vote on the resolution.
The first sound they make is to simply let the world know they're here. And then it's our duty to help them show the world why they're here in the first place.
Give them every advantage with the Guardian Achiever, a plan that provides for their educational dreams and protects their health and life in the process. For more information, call 888-4LIFE to speak to an advisor or visit myguardiangroup.com.
The way you've built your career into a masterpiece, so you can have days that look like a work of art, will be the legacy that will live on as your crowning glory. Now let us help put the finishing touches on your brilliance with Clarion's vast experience, deep expertise, and digital tools, all focused to give you what you deserve: the finest things in life.
Voting has closed and the results are shown on screen. 79 in favor and 1 against. Chairman, we would ask that you declare the result of the vote, as in declaring the motion carried. Chairman, I believe that you may be muted, so we're not hearing you.
I said, thank you, Dave. You're such a very helpful person. I declare the motion carried.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. We will then move on to note that a number of proxies have been received, and a proxy register is available for inspection by interested persons, obviously not here online, but persons who wish to inspect the proxy register may contact the registrar if they wish to do so. We'll then proceed now with the formal business of the meeting and specifically the items that require the passing of resolutions. The first of the resolutions specified in the notice convening the meeting is as follows. On the recommendation of the directors of the company, that the directors of the company are authorized but not obliged to arrange one or more public offers, the additional public offer or offers, to be made with respect to up to 300,000 ordinary shares, in this resolution, new ordinary shares, as part of the authorized capital of the company, or such greater amount as the directors in their absolute discretion may approve, currently unissued, for the purposes of raising capital for the benefit of the company. The general public in Jamaica or elsewhere to be invited to subscribe for new ordinary shares on such terms, including the number of new ordinary shares and the price per new ordinary shares, in each case, as the directors and or any duly appointed committee of directors shall determine. In all such cases, on terms and conditions as the directors may consider expedient in their absolute discretion, and that the directors may, but shall not be obliged to, elect to upsize the number of new ordinary shares made available for subscription by no more than 150 million additional new ordinary shares in the event that the invitation or invitations is or are oversubscribed. Such new ordinary shares to be converted and or confirmed on issue to be ordinary stock units. The same to rank in all respects, pari passu with the existing ordinary stock units of the company, and be made the subject of a supplemental application for listing or cross-listing, the list of the new ordinary shares on the Jamaica Stock Exchange and or any other stock exchange as applicable. And I do have a correction because I believe I said 300,000 when of course it should be 300 million ordinary shares. I hope I did not make any other mistakes in that mouthful. Now, we will then ask a member to propose the motion.
I so propose.
And may we have a member second the motion?
I second the motion.
Thank you very much. Now, we will then now ask our interim group chief executive officer, Mr. Robert Almeida, to speak to the resolution. Now, Rob, as you do so, I would want to indicate that we do have one question that I think you might take during your remarks. The question comes from shareholder David Rose, and it is this. With a significant amount of company debt maturing next year as bullet payments, will the APO be used to satisfy some of these obligations in the absence of capital market activity? Rob?
Okay, great. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, David. So let's start. So the proposed resolutions are intended to enable the company to issue additional shares so as to further bolster the company's resilience and capacity to pursue growth opportunities. One of the points that should be noted is that the resolutions provide the board with the authorization to issue the shares. However, the board will exercise its best judgment to do so in quantities and at prices that optimize between the company's needs, opportunities, as well as minimizing the dilution to shareholders. So in other words, I want to be clear that we don't expect to issue all of the authorized shares in one tranche. The next thing is it's important to keep the share issuance in context. So the chairman referred to this a bit, but I'll just say it just because it's important. Raising additional capital is only one component of a set of strategies that we are executing in order to increase shareholder value. And these strategies include first and foremost, was reducing operating costs. It started with reductions of approximately $8 billion in annual expenditures. And we're determined to reduce our cost-to-income ratio from the high 70s to the 60s, and then aspirationally into the 50s. Another key part of the strategies is an increased focus on customer experience. And as Chairman noted, this is being achieved through delayering to get closer to the customer, as well as a shift in focus to being brilliant at the basics. And thirdly, which gets us closer to what we're doing here, is capital recalibration, which includes capital reallocation within the group, divestitures of non-core assets, and raising of additional capital, which is more specifically the focus of these resolutions. These strategies, you say like, so why are we doing this? The strategies have been developed with the following intended outcomes. First, to increase profitability. Second, reduce debt. Third, restore dividends. And fourth, provide a platform for the acceleration of organic and inorganic growth. So I think in answer to the question that you asked me to incorporate in there, Dave, one of the strategies that we are embarked on, it is to reduce the debt of the organization for the purposes of increasing, but also to keep it in context, to reduce debt, which helps it increase profitability, it helps restore dividends, and it also provides capital capacity that it enables us to be much more opportunistic and to pursue organic and inorganic growth in the future. One thing that you may have noticed that I did not mention, I didn't mention safety and soundness as a desired outcome. And that was purposely excluded because we treat, and Chairman referred to this, safety and soundness is the foundation. It's an imperative, it's a non-negotiable. So it's a platform that upon which we then seek to increase shareholder value. So what we're talking about here is the process of increasing shareholder value. At no point do, safety and soundness is just an imperative, it's a non-negotiable within our group. So in summary, we're executing a set of strategies with discipline and determination. And these resolutions being proposed they're a part of the strategies, and we would appreciate your support. Before I pass it back to Dave, just say, as we look back on the past 3 months, believe we're now in the completion phase of this transition and this turn. And we're increasingly focused now on accelerating continuous improvement. So a lot of progress has been made in the last 3 months, and we're really focused on accelerating continuous improvement and rewarding you, as Chairman has noted, for your continued support. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. All right, so we do have a few additional questions. I think you have answered some of those that have been asked, and so I won't push those back to you. There is a question here from David Tittle, and I hope I have the pronunciation correct. He says, raising capital to just pay a dividend does not make economic sense. Is it that the capital raise is to meet capital requirements? So I think you've somewhat answered the question, but I did want to pose it given the reference to payment of dividends.
Yeah, thanks. So, and kind of covering off the three resolutions here a little bit in these comments together, so maybe it'll be a little bit more efficient in the future. So first of all, unequivocal statement, dividends are paid out of earnings. So just to be absolutely clear, there's no raising of capital to pay dividends. So dividends are paid out of earnings. Now, when you think about raising capital, it enables us to we talked about in the previous question, which was about paying down debt. So one of the options we have is to use the capital to pay down debt. What that does is it starts to increase but paying down debt increases profitability because it reduces interest expense. It also enables us to strengthen our capital ratios, but it also provides what we'll call capital capacity. And capital capacity is the ability to be opportunistic, to take advantage of opportunities when they come along, because you've got excess capital capacity. And that capital capacity can be in the form of surplus capital that sits on the balance sheet. It could also be in the form of having reduced debt levels, which gives us the ability to fund future expansion potentially with debt. So it creates a lot of, the main message I'm trying to give you is raising capital does some very specific things whatever we use the money for, and reducing debt is one of those. But it also creates a lot of flexibility. And that would be the main message I'd like to leave you with. And other than the first one, which was dividends are paid out of earnings, they're not paid out of the capital raise.
All right, thank you very much, Rob. I trust that clarified sufficiently. Mr. Tittle has another question. Would the APO be conducted in the TT market as well, or just on the JSE? I think I can respond there to indicate that the offer is being made in Jamaica. And so the offer is not being made in any other jurisdiction. Of course, our shares are cross-listed on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange. So to the extent that persons wish to avail themselves of opportunities subsequently with respect to where they can purchase and sell, there are opportunities available in that regard. And then we have a question from Mr. Theodore Golding. Did the board consider the issuance of non-par redeemable preference shares? If not, why not? Rob, you want to take that one?
Sure. If we reduce, so first of all, this company has grown a lot without issuing any shares. So that's a really important part of history to keep in mind. And the acquisitions, the amount of just on balance sheet growth this company has done, organic growth, and the amount of growth through acquisition that this company has done without issuing any shares is extensive. It's quite large. So that would be the first point, just to put it into context. The goal, as I mentioned, is to increase one of the goals is to increase flexibility. And if we were to go with preference shares, the issue is it actually creates another encumbrance, another call on capital, if you will, and on cash flows. You can do them in a number, as you would know, you can do them in a number of different ways, so that the cash flows can be deferred. There's a number of different structural pieces you could do to it. But at the end of the day, we would be creating an encumbrance that one could infringe on our capital flexibility, and it also creates a call on capital that stands in front of the common shareholders. So we would have considered many options, I guess, is the real question. Did we consider options? And the answer is yes, we've considered many options over the years, and including now. But the most important priorities for us are, is part of it is reduce debt so that we increase our resilience and our capital capacity, and that increases the flexibility of the company to pursue opportunities in the future, while paying all of its stakeholders and making sure that our cash flows are sufficient so that we don't have to return to a position where we don't pay dividends for a while.
All right, thank you, Rob. Another question from Mr. Golding, and I suppose again about another potential option. And the question is this: he says, you do understand that the proposed new issue will water down the existing shareholders. So why did you not consider a rights issue? Otherwise, how do you intend to deal with the issue of watering down the current shareholdings?
So the share issuance by in and of itself doesn't, so whether we do a rights issue or we do an APO, an APO doesn't preclude existing shareholders from participating. So I think the first thing is we would hope that our existing shareholders would subscribe, and therefore it would have the same effect as a rights issue. Now, of course, the idea that other shareholders can also participate, and in light of what we also want to do is, if you did it in the form kind of like a renounceable rights issue, it almost has the same effect, because in a renounceable rights issue, to the extent that shareholders don't take up their rights, third parties can invest, and it has the same effect as doing it in an APO, except we bypass the situation where we have to wait for the renunciations. So I think so the main point is, I don't think they have it. We're hoping that existing shareholders do participate and therefore avoid any dilution. We will also manage the price issuance, because we're trying to manage the price issue so it minimizes any unnecessary dilution. And I think lastly, whether we did it in a renounceable rights issue or we did it in the form of an APO, it doesn't, the end effect is not necessarily materially different.
Thanks, Rob. And I have one more question that we'll take from Mr. Golding before I look at some of the questions from other shareholders. Will any portion of the APO be used to settle the debt owed to the former CEO and his deputy, said to be in the region of 10.8 billion Jamaican dollars?
So that I can't comment as to whether or not there is a debt, so I'll defer on that part. And but in terms of broadly speaking, as I said, the main purpose of the APO is to reduce the currently number one call would be to apply it to the existing, to delever the existing entity, as well as increase capital capacity. So again, said it a number of times, that is the main goal of the APO. And in terms of any obligations we may or may not owe, it's just that'll be handled a lot of normal corporate affairs.
Thank you, Rob. And the last question that I'm seeing on this resolution that has not already been, I think, addressed is from Randy Aird. He is asking, he's asked, what the funds will be used for. And I think you've answered that part of his question. But he's also asking, what's the intended amount to be raised, to the extent that you're able to comment on that.
Okay. So first, let me just go back to the previous comment from Mr. Golding. I think there is one part, because this will deal with when we get to the subsequent resolutions. One part of this of having the ability to issue shares, issue additional shares, is shares are a form of currency, and when we're trying to do a number of things, we want to optimize it. So we want to be capital efficient. So we want to optimize our leverage. We want to pursue growth opportunities when they come, and we have to compensate all of our different stakeholders in the organization, which includes executives, management, and so like I said, we'll get to that in a subsequent resolution. And we want to access capital in order to pursue growth opportunities. So what issuing shares does is it gives us another form of currency other than just taking earnings and trying in a very constrained way that says, oh, we've got all these great growth opportunities, but we also want to pay a dividend, and we also have to reward the management that is pursuing those growth opportunities, and we have to do all of that, and it becomes very constrained, and then one of our stakeholders gets shortchanged. And so one of the things that happens is when we increase capital, and we're going to do it in a prudent way, and I'll get to the sizing in a moment, it increases the flexibility of the organization to make sure that we actually can balance all of our stakeholder needs and all of our stakeholder obligations, and do that in a more optimal way, and avoid situations where, as we've had in the past, one stakeholder is just not getting paid. With respect to the size, we can't say that we've got a specific size in mind right now, and I mentioned that what we're looking for here is the authorization to issue. We and the actual size, and it won't necessarily be in one transaction. And we're looking to optimize and minimize any unnecessary dilution. So we'll kind of read the market and determine on based on our needs and opportunities at the time, what the market capacity looks like, what the pricing looks like, and take all of that into account to determine an optimal size to go to market at an optimal price. So can't really give you an explicit answer on what's the size of an APO, because that would also determine on the conditions at the time. And in terms of the matching of the number of shares that would be as part of that APO would depend on the pricing that would actually be set. You're on mute, Dave.
My apologies. Rob, I'm going to slip one more in from David Rose, because it's a follow-on from comments that you made earlier. He said you mentioned doing the APO in potentially in more than one tranche. Would the additional shares be used as a negotiating tactic to convert maturing company debt to shares? So I think you've actually alluded to some of some aspects that would be relevant to the answer to this question already, but I kick it to you anyway in case there's anything else that you want to say on that.
I think short answer, I think, David, the key word there would be flexibility. And I think that's what we're looking to create, is create, to be capital efficient, we have to have capital flexibility. And that's what we're doing. And you'll see in other things that we're working on that hopefully come to fruition, we're trying to free up capital where we can in different places in the organization, put that to better use, and at the same time raise additional capital. But as you mentioned, it would absolutely be within the mix to also look at potentially, where we have the opportunity at an appropriate pricing to convert debt to equity. That would be something we would definitely consider.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rob. I hope we've had a useful discussion on that resolution, and that therefore takes us to a point when we would vote on the resolution. So I'm going to ask for the resolution for persons to now vote. You would do so once again by clicking on the Vote Now button and selecting for or against on the EGM platform.
Opening an investment account on GoIPO is easier than before. Using your NCB online credentials, simply log on to goipo.jncb.com to provide the required information. Our digital biometric identity verification system will confirm your ID instantly, so your account will be opened in minutes. Plus, now you can open your investment account with up to 3 joint account holders. So build your wealth and experience life with NCB Capital Markets.
You're always on the go. Take your bank with you with the NCB mobile app. Say hello to the banking app that does it all, right at your fingertips. Need to send money to family and friends, split the bill, or even pay your rent? Do it with a few taps in the NCB mobile app. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Say goodbye to long lines and yes to hassle-free. Pay your internet, electricity, water, and all other bills with just a few taps, so you can use your time to do what you love. Stay connected to those that matter most. Tap to top up and send phone credit to your favorite person, anywhere, anytime, any network. Download the NCB mobile app from the Google Play or App Store today and enjoy convenience at your fingertips.
And I think we're just waiting on the result to show. Yes, so we have 62 in favor and 19 against. So Chairman, I would invite you to declare the result, namely that the vote has carried, I believe. Chairman, you are muted.
I declare the motion carried.
All right, thank you very much, sir. And that takes us on to the second resolution stated in the notice. That resolution reads as follows: that the directors or any duly appointed committee of directors be and are hereby authorized to settle all documents and execute all steps necessary and or required to implement the additional public offer or offers, and to pursue the application for the listing, and that all steps or actions already taken or executed by the directors, and each of them relating to the intended additional public offer or offers, be and are hereby ratified and confirmed. Would a member please propose the resolution?
I so propose.
And would a member now please second the resolution?
I second the resolution.
We would have no new questions, I think, on this resolution, because this resolution primarily follows from the last, but allow me to quickly check to make sure that there are no questions that specifically arise from this one. I am so far not seeing any, but please allow me a moment to scroll through. Yes, I'm not seeing any questions that would relate specifically to this resolution. So in those circumstances, we would move on to the vote. We will therefore ask persons to indicate by clicking on the Vote Now button and selecting for or against on the platform.
Most fraud cases stem from one simple action: clicking on a link or sharing personal information online through text or over the phone. Remember, NCB will never send links through text, WhatsApp, or emails, and NCB will never contact you to ask for your PIN, password, RSA token, or credit card number. Don't be quick to click or share your information. Don't fall for fraud. For more info, visit jncb.com/protect yourself.
Chairman, we have 79 votes for the resolution and 9 against, so I would invite you to declare the result.
I declare the motion carried.
Thank you. And that takes us on to the third resolution. That resolution does include a minor amendment. And so I will read the resolution, and in each case, the amendment is indicated by the words in brackets. The proposed resolution is that the directors may issue unissued shares in the capital of the company and allot them for the purposes of providing ownership interest in the company to executives and/or other employees, current and former, of the company and/or its subsidiaries as compensation for services and/or for valuable consideration provided to the company and/or its subsidiaries by such executives and/or other employees, current and former, in each case as the directors may determine within their discretion. Would a member please propose that resolution?
I so propose.
And can we therefore have another member second the resolution?
I second.
All right. Thank you very much, members. Now, we do see a couple of questions, I think, on this resolution. Mr. Rose, along with Mr. Lloyd Smalling, have both asked for some further comment on the resolution. That resolution is intended to allow the company to issue shares that may be used as compensation versus being restricted, as has been in the case in the past, to purchasing shares on the market to be used for this purpose. This is intended for use not only now but in the future. And of course, if the shares are purchased on the market and used for this purpose, that's actually an additional cost to the company, which has implications naturally for shareholders. And then the amendment is intended to ensure clarity that such shares may be used in relation to both current and former employees, which would then allow its use in post-separation compensation and settlements. So those would be my remarks on that aspect, and I believe Rob, in responding to questions on the first resolution, had also provided some comments that were relevant to this one. One other question that we have had come in, this one from Mr. Daniel Tittle, which I will pose to you, Rob, is he says, I would love to see Resolution 3 be accompanied by a comprehensive employee share ownership compensation structure to avoid unwarranted share dilution. So you could perhaps comment on that?
Yeah, I think it's a really, I just support the shareholders' perspective. In overall, I think one of the parts of the EGC is we'd like to strengthen that part, more clarity, increased clarity, increased structure, so that we make sure we bring a discipline, as the chairman said, that we apply that discipline so there aren't any unintended consequences of decisions. And I think that, as the chairman pointed out at the beginning, it's across the board where everyone's trying to make the decisions that are all well-intended. And I think structure helps in terms of making sure that minimize the risk of unintended consequences. And I think the shareholders' perspective is well received and something that we will definitely take into consideration.
Okay, thank you, Rob. And then we have a question from Mr. Golding, who is a shareholder and pensioner. He asked the question, does the reference to former employees include pensioners? Well, yes, the scope of the resolution does would include pensioners, but of course, what the resolution also indicates is that distribution would be within the discretion of the directors and presumably for a purpose that is aligned to that of the company. I think the answer that Rob also just gave, which really relates to having in place in due course an appropriate framework, is also relevant, not specifically to answering the question, but to answering the objective. I think that would be behind a question of that type. Rob, I'm not sure if you had any other comments that you wanted to make there, while I see if there are any other questions.
No, thanks, Dave.
Okay. All right, so David Rose has asked the question, is this resolution also meant to address the departure of former executives of NCBFG? So I think I would, first of all, in answering that question, just indicate that we have not had departures of former executives of NCBFG at this time. But this type of resolution would be able to address a scenario that could arise if one were to have had departures before the point of doing a share issuance and allotment. So I think it relates to the earlier point that Rob would have made in respect of flexibility. But flexibility, as always, aligned with purpose. Right, those seem to be the questions on this third resolution, and we will therefore move on to take the vote. The voting procedure is the same as we would have followed before. So we will ask that person select the vote now button and then select for or against.
You're always on the go. Take your bank with you with the NCB mobile app. Say hello to the banking app that does it all right at your fingertips. Need to send money to family and friends, split the bill, or even pay your rent? Do it with a few taps in the NCB mobile app. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Say goodbye to long lines and yes to hassle-free. Pay your internet, electricity, water, and all other bills with just a few taps so you can use your time to do what you love. Stay connected to those that matter most. Tap to top up and send phone credit to your favorite person anywhere, anytime, any network. Download the NCB mobile app from the Google Play or App Store today and enjoy convenience at your fingertips.
For a better way to get money from abroad 24/7, use Link. It is safer, easier, no bank account needed. Ask family and friends from abroad to send money through MoneyGram and send you the reference number. Then log into the Link app and go to the remittance option, complete the form, enter your MoneyGram reference number, and just like that, within minutes, you get money in a blink with Link straight to your phone with the best rates to make your money stretch. Cause every dollar counts. Get money from any MoneyGram abroad any time of the year, wherever you are. Download the Link app today. Life is better with Link. Conditions apply.
The results are shown on screen. We have 63 voting for the resolution and 24 against. So Chairman would invite you to declare the result of the vote on this resolution.
I declared the motion carried.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Now, I remind our shareholders this is an extraordinary general meeting, not an annual general meeting. And so this meeting does not have any other business sections. It does not have sections for general questions and answers. We will, of course, invite persons who want to engage in that type of discussion to join us for our investor briefing after we release our, I'm sure, well-anticipated fourth quarter results. And so that will take place during the course of the month of November at a specific date to be announced. Chairman, I will invite you, therefore, to deliver any closing remarks that you may have, and of course, to close the meeting.
Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you very much, shareholders. Over the past 3.5 years, all stakeholders were not treated equally, and the set of shareholders that were treated most unequally were, the set of stakeholders who were treated most unequally were shareholders. Over the past 3 years, we had to prepare for Basel III, IFRS 17, make sure that our capital or capital was sufficiently strong to keep us stable in an unprecedented environment. And we saw what interest rates did in 2022 and continue to do in terms of an upward trajectory. So that was the background. Today is a little different in that we have taken steps, and the APO is a final step, is a final task that we took on, which would include improving operational efficiency, culling non-core assets, expense efficiency. So the APO is a final task to really putting this organization on a course that we have been used to, whereby shareholders are made equal citizens in terms of the stakeholder roster. So we are happy, we are actually proud of the job that has been done over the last 3 months to balance all the stakeholders. So I want to express our appreciation, the director's appreciation, management, staff's appreciation to shareholders who have been loyal to us during this most difficult period. But I'll say to you that this is now coming to an end. And it will come to an end once the dividend is announced. Because what really has caused the stock price to tank is, as we all know, is that the dividends were withheld for an extraordinarily long time. Conversely, those of us who are optimistic and can see that tangible, decisive actions are being taken, you'll be well rewarded for your confidence. So we appreciate your patience, and I assure you your patience will be well rewarded. Thank you very much.
And Chairman, you want to just indicate that the meeting is terminated, please?
Thanks again, Dave. At this point in time, I declare the meeting terminated.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
The way you've built your career into a masterpiece, so you can have days that look like a work of art, will be the legacy that will live on as your crowning glory. Now let us help put the finishing touches on your brilliance with Clarion's vast experience, deep expertise, and digital tools, all focused to give you what you deserve. The finest things in life.
Today's woman is not just an entrepreneur, a mother, or the girlfriend that gets all the girls together. She's all that and much more. We call her a queen. She's driven to live life to the max, and nothing should slow her drive down. That's why Guardian General's Queen Guard Motor Insurance was created with this woman in mind. Delivering benefits like 24-hour roadside assistance, uninsured motorist protection, windscreen coverage, replacement of personal belongings, speedy claims settlement, and so much more at affordable premiums that won't break your pocket. For more information, contact your broker or call us at 876-935-6681 or toll free 888-468-3474.
The first sound they make is to simply let the world know they're here. And then it's our duty to help them show the world why they're here in the first place.
Give them every advantage with the Guardian Achiever, a plan that provides for their educational dreams and protects their health and life in the process. For more information, call 888-4LIFE to speak to an advisor or visit myguardiangroup.com.
Opening an investment account on GoIPO is easier than before. Using your NCB online credentials, simply log on to goipo.jncb.com to provide the required information. Our digital biometric identity verification system will confirm your ID instantly, so your account will be opened in minutes. Plus, now you can open your investment account with up to 3 joint account holders. So build your wealth and experience life with NCB Capital Markets.
No matter who you are, where you are, or what you do, Link are for everybody.